Why don't they believe? Because their minds are, the God of this world has blinded their minds. Why? Because their mind is trying to come in contact with the things of God. That's blindness. It's the very thing that the serpent, Satan through the serpent, told Eve that she would not die to. That alternate perception that come through the five senses to the mind, which is dead to God, it has no way of being spiritual-minded without the Spirit of the Lord in them. And the Spirit of the Lord vacated them. They clearly made a decision of who they would obey. That's why the washing and regeneration and the renewing of the Holy Spirit is a verse or is a word of knowledge written there in Titus 3:5. It's not a works of righteousness which we have done, but according to God's mercy, He saved us with a washing and regeneration and the renewing of the Holy Spirit. That means that the Spirit of the Lord vacated the two vessels that He indwelt, clothed them with, God clothed them with Himself. He vacated them. They clearly made a decision of who they would obey. You see? So once Satan sold them, deceiving Eve, to an alternate perception that she should obtain to being like God. And he wasn't talking about God, the living God. He was talking about himself. He was wanting to present himself to her as God. After all, the doubt that she brought to her to separate her from what Adam told her that God said, well, he's so smart, he knows everything. Before God made him fall in a deep sleep and took a rib out of him and made the woman, built the woman, God brought all that He created, all the beasts of the field, every creeping thing, the fish, the birds, and He said, whatsoever He nameth them, that's the name thereof. In her eye, He was so smart. He knew everything. Oh, so now they're sleeping, and the serpent gets Eve to come before that tree. You know the doubt that was spoken to her? Oh, God knows in the day you eat thereof you shall be as God. That's a lie. You mean my husband tricked me? And he told me not to touch it. He doesn't want me to be like him, does he? Well, what was Adam like before he disobeyed God? The Bible doesn't say. You know, there's some things, the mystery of Christ and the unsearchable riches of Christ and the wisdom of God and the mystery of godliness. It's hid. It's a mystery. So the mind is not going to come into the... Listen, corruption does not inherit in corruption. Your mind, which is corruptible, isn't going to just come to light in and of itself. And you think you're so smart and wise. Well, you know what? The little bit of wisdom of God, the weakness of God will confound your wisdom. How is it that if by wisdom God founded this earth, created and made it, how is it that the wisdom of this world doesn't know God? Why? Because it's the wisdom of men handling it. And who's blinded the minds of them that don't believe the gospel? See, if you don't believe the righteousness, the faith which is of God's righteousness, the door, the foundation, that you enter into the things of the Spirit, how is it then that you know what you know? And if you can't preach what I'm preaching to you, if you can't teach what I'm teaching you, if you can't warn men, including yourself, with what I'm warning, then what gospel do you have? Because I declare unto you that without the Spirit of the Lord, you can do nothing. You can't arrive